Most Jeopardy! Fans were looking forward to Ken Jennings' return. He went on an extended hiatus in early May. At the time, he took to Twitter to warn fans that his break would last for months. Actress Mayim Bialik held down the fort during that time. Some fans think she hosted the game show too long. Some of them were begging for Jennings to come back soon. He made his big return on Monday, July 18. However, some fans are regretting their wish. They called out the champ for not sticking to the rules. Read on to learn more. Jeopardy! Fans are wishing that Ken Jennings didn't make a return. They're upset with him for making the same blunder that Mayim Bialik made during her episodes. They took to Twitter to call him out for failing to enforce rules. They noticed an inconsistency when it comes to accepting responses. Ken Jennings returned to Jeopardy! This week after Mayim Bialik hosted the quiz show for the past 8 weeks. At the time of this writing, the permanent hosting position is still undecided. An announcement is expected to take place during the season 30 finale. Jeopardy! Fans have been closely comparing Jennings' hosting style to Bialik's. Some noticed that the Blossom alum made many blunders during her tenure. However, they also noticed that Jennings is making some of those mistakes. During Monday's episode, Jennings returned from his long hiatus. Player Erica Weiner Amachi wrote a response that some fans thought was illegible. They called out both the show and Jennings over their inconsistent rules. Some of the fans are understandably confused and would like some clarification. Jennings read the following clue. Asked to design a new set for a restaging of this 1952 play, Alberto Giacometti came up with one scraggly plaster tree. Erica wrote down, waiting for Godot. Jennings accepted her response. Jeopardy! Fans recalled the controversial episode that took place last month and slammed Jennings' decision. On Wednesday, June 22, Mayim Bialik was the host during that controversial moment. Former contestant Sadie Goldberger lost during Final Jeopardy! Her response was false since her writing was considered illegible. Megan Waxpress ended up winning that baffling episode. One fan took to Twitter to recall that episode and compare it to the latest one. Other Jeopardy! Fans took to Twitter to share their frustrations. Most of them stated that they were confused by the rules as well. Others wondered why contestants can't enter their responses with a keypad rather than write their responses by hand to lessen the confusion. Both of these incidents took place during Final Jeopardy! Where they have 30 seconds to handwrite their final response to win the game. What are your thoughts on Ken Jennings' return to the show? Do you think Jeopardy! Should be called out for its inconsistent rules? Did you notice the inconsistencies as well? Sound off below in the comments section. The game show Jeopardy! Has long been a pillar of American television, synonymous with intellect, wit, and a nostalgic sense of competition. After the tragic passing of Alex Trebek in 2020, the show faced an uncertain future. Fans were left wondering who could possibly fill the shoes of the iconic host who had become a household name over decades. Enter Ken Jennings, the show's greatest contestant, and for many, a natural successor. Yet, as Jennings stepped behind the iconic lectern for his latest stint as host, a surprising wave of discontent began to ripple through the Jeopardy! Fan base. Why are some fans unhappy with Ken Jennings' return? This creative exploration delves into the evolving dynamics of Jeopardy! And imagines the tensions that might underlie this seemingly simple act of hosting a quiz show. Ken Jennings' journey from Jeopardy! Champion to host was anything but straightforward. As the contestant who famously won 74 consecutive games and later claimed the title of greatest of all time, Jennings was deeply ingrained in the show's lore. But his hosting tenure has been polarizing, with some fans celebrating his deep connection to the show and others criticizing his delivery, tone, and even his perceived humor. Jennings' return as host sparked discussions across social media platforms, with some fans expressing disappointment over his style compared to his co-host, Mayim Bialik. Ken just doesn't have the same warmth as Alex did. One fan tweeted, "He's knowledgeable, but something feels off." Another chimed in, "I don't watch Jeopardy! To hear a comedian's commentary. Stick to asking questions." Yet, there were also defenders of Jennings, praising his wit and deep understanding of the game. Ken Jennings is Jeopardy! A Reddit user argued, "Who better to host than the GOAT himself?" This division of opinion highlights a broader challenge. Living up to the legend of Alex Trebek, Trebek's legacy casts a long shadow over Jeopardy! For decades, his calm demeanor, dry humor, and genuine connection with contestants made him a beloved figure. Fans didn't just tune in for the trivia, they tuned in for Trebek. Jennings, for all his accomplishments, has been held to that same standard, one that might be impossible for anyone to meet. Ken's great, but he's no Alex, a longtime viewer said in an online forum. I miss the way Alex made every contestant feel special, even when they were struggling. This sentiment resonates with many fans, especially those who view Jeopardy as more than just a game show. To them, it's a comforting ritual, a part of their daily lives. Any deviation from the Trebek era feels like a disruption of that tradition. Part of the controversy surrounding Ken Jennings' return lies in the dual-host format introduced by the show's producers. Mayim Bialik, an actress and neuroscientist, has also taken turns hosting the show. Her presence brought a different energy to the lectern, and some fans have found her more engaging and approachable than Jennings. Mayim has a way of connecting with contestants that Ken doesn't. One fan wrote, "She feels warm and encouraging, whereas Ken can come across as a bit smug." This perceived smugness has been a recurring critique of Jennings. While his quick wit and dry humor endeared him to many during his time as a contestant, some viewers feel it doesn't translate as well to hosting. Others, however, argue that Jennings' deep knowledge of the game makes him the ideal host. Ken knows what it's like to be up there, a supporter pointed out. He's been in the contestants' shoes, and that gives him a unique perspective. The debate over who is the better host has created a sense of competition that the show's producers likely didn't intend. Instead of uniting the fanbase, the dual-host strategy has inadvertently fueled division. In today's digital age, every decision made by a beloved show is scrutinized in real time. Jennings' return to Jeopardy was no exception, with fans taking to Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube to voice their opinions. Some of the criticism has been constructive, focusing on Jennings' hosting style and suggesting ways he could improve. Other comments, however, have been downright brutal, targeting his appearance, personality, and even his right to be on the show at all. Jennings, to his credit, has taken much of this in stride. Known for his sharp wit on Twitter, he occasionally engages with fans, often deflecting criticism with humor. "Did I mispronounce potpourri again?" he joked in response to one particularly harsh comment. But the constant scrutiny undoubtedly takes a toll. For someone who loves the game as much as Jennings does, the backlash can feel personal. Behind the scenes, Jeopardy producers are faced with a difficult balancing act. They must honor Trebek's legacy while also looking to the future. Jennings, with his history on the show, seemed like a natural choice to carry the torch. But the mixed reactions to his hosting raise questions about whether he is the long-term solution. Adding to the complexity is the show's desire to attract new viewers without alienating its loyal fanbase. The producers have experimented with different formats, special tournaments, and even guest hosts. Yet, the quest for the perfect host remains elusive. Jeopardy is bigger than any one person, a producer said in a recent interview. But finding the right person to represent the show is crucial. As the criticism swirls, Jennings faces a pivotal moment in his hosting journey. Does he try to adapt his style to win over skeptics, or does he stay true to himself and hope the fans come around? For Jennings, the answer might lie in embracing his unique strengths. He isn't Alex Trebek, nor should he try to be. What he brings to the table is his unparalleled knowledge of the game, his dry humor, and his genuine love for Jeopardy. In one particularly heartfelt moment during a recent episode, Jennings shared an anecdote about Trebek. "Alex once told me that the game is the star," he said. "It's not about the host or even the contestants, it's about the trivia." This simple statement reminded fans of what Jeopardy is truly about: celebrating knowledge and curiosity.